Hidden Object Guru here, joined by
The Gun Wrangler.
to talk the second half of Season 4 of Expanse, which is even better than the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Well, they're really ramping things up, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a very sharp downhill curve on this one where things change drastically episode to episode.
Oh my god. I was not expecting all of their... Okay, here's my question. And this is something that was a little unclear to me just because of how the show is filmed and, the restrictions placed on them by the budget. How big is the encampment of squatters, like the frontiersmen, the homesteaders? How many people is that supposed to be? Like in the book...
It's supposed to be like a couple hundred.
Okay, because in the show, I'm seeing like 30 people. And I feel like they couldn't be that small amount in the book. And I think those 30 people are supposed to represent a couple of hundred people. So
yeah,
I'm glad I was right about that. Because it just doesn't make sense that there's an encampment of only 30 people there.
Yeah, if there's 30 people, like the RTA just probably would have came in and shot them all.
Oh, exactly, yeah. But once you got 300 people, you're like, yeah, okay, that's actually a bit of an issue. Take that, you jerk. Uh-oh. I think these Skaven might be mad at us. Oh, no, wait. It's human cultists. Forget it. I'm not so worried anymore. Oh, they like climbing. But I have arrows. So, yeah, I assumed they were representing more, and it's good to know that that was correct. Because it's... Yeah, you need to have a significant footprint. But, obviously... They might be like the favorite show of the richest man on earth, but that doesn't mean they have an unlimited budget. So they have to put in just like the encampment is seven containers and 30 people, when really it should be a small city of 300 people, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, also all
like containers and ramshackle and tent, of course, but it should be about 10 times bigger than it is. Which makes the prospect of them all going blind especially terrifying.
Yep.
That was oh wait, you're way over there.
Oh, I shot
Ah!
a loot rat.
There are loot rats?
Yeah, oh, I'm
Nice.
being stabbed to death.
I got him. Eventually.
Thank you.
There we go. But anyway, yes, you were saying.
Going back to previous statements about that, I feel, I don't know, Murtry did very little wrong.
Except for, the part where he, like all the people in the corporations in this world, decide, oh, proto-molecule technology, I should use this for myself to gain personal power and wealth.
I don't know if you had the option, you're on contract. The contract says you get X amount of the value of whatever you create. If you had the option of adding 4 zeros to whatever that number was...
Oh, I understand why he's tempted. That doesn't make it right. Like, I know why he did what he did. I'm not calling it unrealistic. I'm just saying he's like, given what the proto-molecule had previously done in corporate hands... The idea that he would be like, oh, I'm desperate, like, I don't care what happens once my overlords get a hold of this thing, all of this tech. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna cash in and go off to a vacation home somewhere. Yeah, that doesn't make you a hero.
Doesn't make you a hero. Doesn't necessarily make you a bad guy.
In this situation, well, yes, it does, because you're literally like, I don't care what happens with this atomic bomb I just handed to these monkeys. Because I'm not the one who's going to get destroyed by the blast. So yeah, that does make you a bad person. No, but...
Morally ambiguous, maybe?
No, I think it goes a little beyond morally ambiguous. Like, because, again, the fact is, it's not like he doesn't know what the outcome of this technology getting out there is. Everybody saw what happened. When it destroyed that space station that time. Oh my god. Can this guy heal or something? Because...
Yeah, he regenerates, like every troll.
Oh, right, he's a troll. What am I saying? I didn't look at the name until now. I just saw that he had an extra Ooh, healing
on him
thing.
some.
Ah, God, the stabber got me. And now the grabber got me. What is happening? I cannot catch a break. But yeah, no. Mercury did a lot wrong. He did a lot wrong. This is technology that, like, you cannot put into private hands at all. And he wanted to cash in on that. And that is a really bad look for anybody, but especially a guy who already, you know, was really comfortable shooting unarmed people in the face.
I was thinking more in terms of, like, it wasn't the actual protomolecule. What it was stuff that the protomolecule had built.
Yeah. Oh, no. He was getting all of the technology. You're right. He wasn't actually getting the protomolecule. He was just going to be getting access to the working machinery of this ancient civilization.
Yeah. So it's more like giving a TV to a set
I'd say a hell of a lot more than a TV. When it's... By the way, it has the ability to turn off fusion. To stop atomic reactions. That's not exactly a TV. I think my atom bomb is a much closer comparison, because being able to control the basic elemental reactions of things, that's a
kind of
pretty
important.
Scary. Yeah, kind of a vitally important power that in the wrong hands would be unbelievably damaging. Because it was able to turn off engines of any ship within, you know, how many? Thousands of kilometers? Because they were a good... Well, no, okay, hundreds of kilometers, because they were in high orbit. But they said it was all the distance between there and the moon, because the machines on the moon and the machines on the planet were creating the field in which the fusion engines didn't work. Meaning, we're talking about, like, a range of hundreds of thousands of kilometers. That's kind of insane.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
That said, this is not something we haven't seen before.
Okay.
Remember it at the original rigging station?
Yeah.
So, you know...
Yeah, no, it does control physics. Yeah. In a
probably
terrifying...
there are people researching this.
Oh, there are. Absolutely there are people researching it, but, you know, to hand the keys of to the castle to this corporation seems like a really, really dangerously short-sighted thing to do.
So what exactly did the government do?
I'm not saying
turned all that over to the reins of another different corporation.
Yes. I'm not saying it's an ideal system. Absolutely. But at least there's oversight now. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. Cutting off so many zombie rat heads. It's kind of my thing now. But then again, the power being turned off led to some of the most thrilling outer space stuff we've seen in the show all year.
And it wasn't even, like, huge battles either, which surprised me.
Yeah, like, there's no space combat except for the one part where they're almost blown up by someone flying a shuttle at them. Because they want to, the minute he finds... Again, you say he did nothing wrong. The minute they find out that they have a... It's like in Aliens. The minute he finds out he's got, you know, a prophet to protect, his first job becomes killing all the witnesses. You know? Like... So yeah, he did a lot of things wrong, come to think of it. Because, you know, I mean, we all know that, as they established, Burke was going to, once they all got back on the plane, he was going to implant the two of them with aliens and sabotage the sleep pods of everybody else so they died during the journey home, so he would have no one to counteract his story. This guy's plan is, we'll kill the crew of the Rocinante, so, you know, they can't tell anybody about the technology we've taken. So, yeah, he did.
Where's that rabbit chart, yo?
I found it down here in the cave. It's next to the corpse. Oh, okay. If I collect it, it doesn't come for all of us. We have to do different instances of it. We each have to pick it up.
Nope, it's the same instance, but if you see it, tag it first with T.
Oh, damn, sorry.
Okay.
I will remember that.
That said...
Yes.
You know, Mercury is basically Amos.
Yeah, he is.
Amos if Amos went corporate.
Well, not just went corporate. The thing that makes Amos so fascinating, right, is that he's one of the few characters you'll see in almost any show who has complete self-awareness. You know? Who knows exactly who he is, who knows exactly what he wants, and who is, as he puts out, 100% honest about that.
Yep.
Like, there, not only does he not try to deceive other people, he doesn't deceive himself. Like, he doesn't think... He knows he's not a good guy. He does the right thing in a lot of situations. But he also doesn't always do that. Right?
That said, he did have some really excellent touching moments, like with his girlfriend there.
Isn't that
like,
terrible?
oh, what was that for? And she's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. I know! Oh, God, and having to end it with a shootout between the two of them.
Yep.
Because she fundamentally... Well, like he said, like, I'm never gonna lie to you. Like, believe me, this is what's going to happen. I've told you the situation on the message. You know? Like, it's clear. Just set down your weapon and this can end well for you.
Yep. Everyone walks away.
Yeah. But, no, she's chasing the money, too. Well, she's a mercenary. What do you expect, exactly?
Yeah.
On a fundamental level, that's what mercenaries do. Which way are we supposed to go?
Cross this thing.
Oh, okay. We have to go across the beaver dam type thing. Gotcha. Oh, it's a ford. Okay. I never
Where they come from?
Yeah.
Just gonna pitch that. Come on. There we go.
Nice.
Get some fire going.
But yeah, like a legitimately touching set of scenes with him and his girlfriend Wei before she, before he has to kill her to save Jim's life, which is of course what he was doing. I mean, Jim could handle himself, obviously, but
I don't think against Mercury.
Well, no, he does shoot Mercury. He does win a gunfight with Mercury in the episode.
True.
But had there been two of them, then no, he definitely would not have won that. Yeah, he definitely would not have won that at all. But yes, it's the idea of the speed sled where you hop into a pit and a force field carries you 800 kilometers in an hour. Oh my God, that is some great technology. You free fall for an hour and then it gently slows you down until you land where you're going. Wow. That was the transit field or whatever it's called. It looked incredible. Great visual effect, great conceptually. I like the thing about him, like, the wonderful situation where he, as he says, hasn't slept in 3 days because they've been working on, oh, there was a flood. Oh, on top of the flood, we're all going blind. Oh, on top of the flood, and we're all going blind.
Also,
there's
I have
toxic
8 kinds
slugs.
of... I also have 8 kinds of cancer, by the way.
And the toxic slugs. And he's got, Joe messing with his head, or as we learn, the proto-molecule program in his head that he thinks is Joe, but we learn more about that as the episodes go on. Alright, so it's just like, I love he just slept through the whole trip. It's like, you can only be scared of falling for so long before you just fall asleep. I really liked that scene as well. I thought that was a ton of fun. What was the really great... Oh, okay. First off, the cancer medicine saving him? Come on, that was fantastic.
Oh yeah, no argument.
Oh, such a good payoff for that. As she said, something good comes out of Eros.
I told you
on
when we first started watching this.
Yeah.
That they do not waste a single shot.
It's true. Like there's no plot element that is introduced that doesn't pay off later. I haven't seen it happen once. It's amazing. That's why I know, like, Clarissa Mao is going to be back at some point, because they established that she's still around. I don't know in what function, and I don't want you to tell me, but it's great that they established that she's still out there. Trying to make amends for her really horrible series of bad decisions.
Yeah. as well.
Yeah.
I did like how everything essentially did pay off in the end.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially the growing development with Ashford.
Yes. Oh, that was a heartbreaker.
Yep. Well.
Well, and I mean the thing is, the entire season, right? I'm like, what exactly is he planning? And it's like, oh, they're legit going to go to war with Earth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Inarios is. I'm not sure if you caught it. Inarios is Naomi's ex.
Oh yeah, no, that's clear. That's 100% clear. We see Naomi's son at the end of the last episode, so no, yep. I did not miss any of that. Oh, but wow, what a... And, and then the message to Fred at the end of the season, so she's going to get back involved with what he's doing. Oh, yep. That was a nice thing. Hoping to see Fred back next year.
Ashford's development over the series has been
incredible.
Good.
That's why it was so sad to see him go, because it's like he really did completely transform. Because he starts out so, well, again, he's literally a pirate. You know? And he is a pirate. He believes the pirate code. He believes what the OP is for. And he's like, he so gradually came around to thinking that things could be better and we could all profit from this.
We could all get along, essentially.
Exactly. And he's like, the speech he gives about the consequences of violence and how it never stops. Right? Mm-hmm. It just goes there will always be another reason to get revenge on somebody. Right? There will always be another degree of that. So you just have to, if you want it to end, you just have to stop at some point. Damn.
And then he goes out like a man. He walks into the airlock.
I know.
And it's like just one last big fuck you to Marcos, who you will learn to hate more if you can.
I already despise this guy, right? But I'm sure it's only getting worse next season, as he is our lead villain. Because that was one of the interesting things about this season. It didn't really have a main antagonist in any meaningful way. You know? Like, the first couple of seasons were taken up by... Oh, whoa, what's happening?
I fell off a boat.
I didn't know that could happen.
Neither did I.
Right, so this whole the whole first two seasons, there's the conspiracy that's overarching. There's the corporation. There's Jules Pierre Mao, right? Yep. And it's like, it's clear. We move into season 3. We've got even more nefarious people working with Proto-Molecule.
You missed the Ravage Dart.
What's that?
Back over here.
Oh, where? Oh, thank you. Mr. Ravage Dart. Right, so it's like, but here, it really is just, until he goes out, until Naomi's ex, Marcos, goes really just mask off, revealing what he's planning at the end of the last episode, the whole season is just people with different values competing with one another. And as I said, I think you're right that Murtry did nothing wrong until he's like, let's kill Jim and all of his crew and all of the people and secure this fine just for ourselves for our own profit. Right up until then, he's just a guy with different values advocating for himself and for his people and for his corporate interest. And that's why I agreed with you right up until those last 2 episodes.
Yep, until the very last moment.
Murtry. Yeah, until I don't like Murtry, but I don't think he's wrong. Until he's like, okay, well, now time to massacre all the innocent civilians, so our claim is not questioned.
Well, for me, I'm looking at it, I'm like, here's what you tell corporate. We have all these alien technologies. We have these people mining.
Yeah.
Compared to the alien technology, the mines are useless. Yeah, they're starting to set up infrastructure. Keep them around.
Well,
whatever.
No, but
you look good to the belt.
The reason he wants to execute them is they can make Like, the reason he wants / needs to execute them is they can make a convincing argument for squatters' rights. As the first people to land on the planet, as people who immediately started homesteading and working the planet, they can make a compelling argument in world court that they own that planet and the alien technology that's on it. But if they were all killed by a natural disaster on the planet, well, then they can't really... There's no one alive to make that argument in court, and there's no question that the corporation owns the place. That's why he has to kill them. And that's where he steps over the line from being a guy, who is just looking out for his business interest to a mass-murdering psychopath.
Lives is worth that extra couple of zeros on your paycheck. And I was like,
well, that's another...
You don't want to get into that algebra because...
No. I'm sure everyone's got a number they can get to, but Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's not a conversation we should be having in our civilized society. Was the...
So long as you can acknowledge that...
Yeah. Oh, God.
Everyone
nice,
has
nice
a dollar, has a number.
I am being completely crushed here. I am being surrounded by cultists and a troll-looking dude. Trying to slash my way out of it, but I might not be able to, just FYI. Oh, wait. I found a way to jump back down to the courtyard, which is what I'm doing. I can take them on one at a time through this gap. Okay, it's this guy with the armor. What am I supposed to do with armored guys? I've forgotten.
Hit him in the face.
I'm a really bad shot, is the thing. Oh, hey, that did stun him. Not gonna lie. Oh, thank God that's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Mercury went dirtbag, open dirtbag right at the end. Went literally, there we go. Went Burke from Aliens right at the end. But up until then, I was not going to debate with you the point that, he had a right to be pissed. He and half of his friends, got murdered by an OPA attempt to stop him. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And he absolutely reacted you could say he overreacted by got the Ravager art. I pressed T to mark it?
Yep, T to mark it.
T come here?
Perfect. I can see it.
You found it. Okay. Good. Oh, damn. But yeah, it's still an amazing payoff at the end. And how great... how great was Amos's message to Wei, though? He's like, yeah, I'm coming to kill your boss. Don't be there when I do. Damn, Amos.
I mean, yeah, I can get behind that.
Oh my God. That was so fantastic.
Oh, did you notice the callback to the very first scene in the series?
No, what was it?
One of Arceval is with her grandkid, and he's like, I was reading about the dinosaurs, and people are saying they're gonna drop, that rock dropped from the sky and killed all of them. I was wondering if that would happen to us too.
Right, and now we've got the OPA mass drivers coming after them. Jesus, yeah. I didn't remember that. Nice.
Like I said, every single
nothing
scene has
is
a
wasted. It always pays off. God damn it. Yeah, he's a monster, all right. And I cannot wait to see how that plays out next year. Because now you've got... and of course, the Bobby stuff all paid off in a huge way.
Well, yeah. We're not done with that.
Oh, no, of course not. It's just getting started. And as he said, I'll team up with Estrella 5 minutes after she lost the election.
Yep.
Oh my God. But yeah, that was beautiful. The her acknowledgement that it's like she sent Holden to deal with this situation, and it became the beautiful story of corporate scientists and innocent settlers teaming up to battle OPA radicals and corporate mercenaries.
Yep.
Thus proving that, people can work together and get over their differences. And it's like, God damn it! It's the opposite of everything I believe in was running on.
Oh, yeah, she also just flatly says, "This is your fucking problem now."
I know. Oh God, yeah. It's because it's not like that was a clean resolution for anybody. Yay! Let's see this cannon fire. Nice. Well, that looked badass. But yes, such a satisfying ending. Oh no, he's falling over! Here, I'll help you. I definitely know how to do that. Oh, okay, you got it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But yes, such a strong ending to the season. Like, all of the stuff with the settlers and the scientists plays out beautifully. You know, they give the doctor a chance to live out the rest of her life on the planet. As long as she never goes anywhere, she has to have her identity scanned. You know, that was a nice touch. It was a good wrap up. Her daughter's gonna gonna head back to the inner worlds. Hopefully, go to university, make something of herself, and at the same time, you have really turned up the dial on this Bobby Mars situation where half of the people on Mars just want to... damn it! He got me before the Soul Eater got me before I could shoot him. Thank you. Right? And it's like half of the people on Mars are like, why do we want to spend another 100 years terraforming this place when we could just move to a planet?
Yeah. And get everything that's been promised to us in, like, our national legend.
Yep. And then, at the same time, the other half are like, you know what? Maybe it's time to start dealing with Earth once and for all. Well, not half, but a bunch of them are like, let's start dealing with Earth once and for all. And go, boom.
Go help out the OPA and these lunatics.
Go help the OPA and these guys, and you're like, start negotiating from a position of strength. But the OPA is this weird situation where, like, they have an advantage because they only live in space, and so they can just start wrecking planets, and they consider that a victory because they're psychos.
Yeah.
Right? They consider that a victory because it's like, hey, if we blow up Earth, doesn't matter to us. We still get to live in space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how have our lives changed at all? Which is an insane thing. You killed 15 billion people. That's how. But, you know, they've gone so
like,
fanatical
beyond that,
towards
it's
their
like,
cause.
Okay, we're... You know, the boot of the inners is off our throats, and we can finally live free.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy the graveyard of civilization, then. It's gonna suck.
Oh no, it's like, and that's the problem. Like, he doesn't have a good end game. Like, he doesn't have a good end game in mind. He just wants to upend everything. He just wants to blow up everything and let the chips fall where they may, which is not a good plan. And that's, I mean, Fred is right about things. You know, Jared Harris is right about things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Anderson Dawes, he's right about this stuff. You've got to negotiate for a position, and you've got to get things, and we can all move forward together. They just, I think understandably, want the Belters to be treated as equal partners, which they never had been.
And
but
what the
Marcos
hell was that
just wants
noise?
Revenge. Oh, sorry, just banged a glass against another glass. I apologize. But Marcos just is wrapped up in revenge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's just wrapped up in getting even. And that, there's no next step to that. All that means is your kids are going to have to keep fighting that same war forever. And made very clear by the fact that his son is frigging right there, next to him.
Yeah. So there will be some payoff to that.
Oh, I can imagine. I think Naomi's going to be concerned about her son. We already know she is, and I'm sure there's going to be a solid payoff to that storyline coming. Damn, though. Such a bleak ending to the season. Like, you go from so hopeful to so bleak in 5 minutes.
To just being, like, crushed. Because you're like, okay,
this is gonna be
I
bad
wasn't on
for
board with this guy
everybody.
before, and now...
Wow.
He's... You know...
Yep.
He's kind of one of your favorites. He's like
I know.
The old sergeant that everyone loves, who's like, "Yep, I mean, what you're doing isn't the greatest idea, but you do you, bruh."
Oh. No, but
And then
it's and then for that ending to hit us. Oh. That was a rough way to go out. Oh,
well, season
I was not
5
happy
is
with the result.
thankfully almost all shot.
Oh, good. Hopefully, like, what's the situation? Have they done a thing where they like start post on the episodes they've already done, so most of it'll be ready, and then they hurry to shoot the last 2 or 3 episodes whenever
That
they
is
can
my
film
understanding.
again? Okay, good.
Because
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
I don't know if you saw what The Blacklist did for its season ender, but it was embarrassing. They had not shot like 20% of the scenes, so they did crude computer animation of those scenes.
I'm guessing very crude.
Well, go to YouTube and just type in Blacklist CGI and prepare to have your socks knocked on their asses, because it is not a good look. Ooh,
To my knowledge,
like,
almost all the cast is still in Toronto. Cass Anvar is still in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Arsaval is still there.
Okay.
So.
Oh. And you want to talk about a character who had a journey this year. Having to fight for her job for the first time ever. Being baited into these screw-ups because she doesn't, like... She's so desperate to keep winning, she suddenly can't see the angles.
Mm-hmm.
And like, guys, yeah, like... They got you to blow up, earlier this season, they got you to blow up a ship by throwing it at Earth so that they could, use that as part of their, so they could pretend. I mean, the pretend didn't take, but it's the pretend didn't take at all because they were, it was a ship that had been listed as having been captured by pirates earlier. Yep. Well, as we know, the engine signature matched. It's obviously hard to keep ships registered exactly. But the engine signature matched, right? And, but then when they have another attempt, she can't figure that, she so needs the win and she's so desperate, she can't see that one's a trap, too. Oh.
But beyond that, they also have... We have the scene with the Marines storming... Yeah. What is basically a suicide ship, and I'm like, oh no.
Yep.
And the general blames Arsaval. I'm like,
I know.
How could she have foreseen that?
Well, I mean, they did. It was a trick the previous time, but yeah, no, you should have played it safe and not tried to board the ship. There are better ways to handle this. But yeah, it's so frustrating. I mean, I'm not saying they should have just nuked the ship. In case he was on, because there was definitely civilians. But it's like, come on, kill the engines. Make them turn over the guy. There's other ways to handle this that aren't as dramatic, although you don't want an endless hostage situation to drag on either. So yeah, she was put in an incredibly bad situation. But that being said, you thought that Marcos was on a ship that was taking him from a place to a place. You can just follow that ship and capture him when he gets off. And if they try to ram the ship into something, you can interdict then. But no, she needed the win before the election. And that's what got her into trouble. Ugh.
I'd also like to talk about Bobby. And yes. There's this fun overlap between her and her nephew.
Yeah.
Right? And that's actually part of the novella Gods of Risk.
Yeah.
Which is, admittedly, not the best novella. The best novella is, and always shall be,
the one about Amos.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one about Amos's youth growing up. Yeah. No surprise there. But, so there's this heartwarming moment. It's like, at the same time that Bobby is getting all of these messages about hopelessness and how things can only get worse, and it's like the whole Martian project is coming to an end.
Yeah.
But her nephew still
is over.
Yeah, is over. But her nephew's still signing up to be a terraformer. So, there's a bright side.
Yeah.
But yeah, what happens in the novella?
Essentially, Bobby saves him, and basically he realizes she believes in it so much because it's worth believing in.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's the easy way out, which is, well, easy, quote unquote, which
the
is
600 new worlds. 1600 new worlds, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or there's the hard way out, building something of your own and taking Martian's birthright.
Yeah.
And he sees the nobility in going on the harder path.
Yeah.
And that's
and
great.
The chick ends up like a drugged out. She basically becomes meth mom.
That is not a surprise. As she flees for Ceres.
Yeah.
To try and get away from the guns that are coming her way now that she finds out that, oh, it's all been a setup.
Yeah.
And if something seems too good to be true, it definitely is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just love I love the dread that fills all of us, where it's like, oh, well, they don't want weapons from the thing. It's like, well, yeah, but there's only a couple of things that could possibly worth that much money.
Well, beyond the fact that basically what they're saying, it's not for weapons,
yeah,
which is technically true, but they're turning it into weapons because that's how they're guiding rocks down on Earth. Like, okay.
Yep. Yeah, and then they have to, what do you call it? They have to cut the lines of evidence to prove that they're the ones who did it.
Yep.
Which, I get it, but like using guidance systems to drain rocks down on Earth past their defenses. Damn. That's quite a trick. Oh, damn it, I fell off the cliff. There's guys to kill down here, too.
Yep.
Lots of guys. Oh, love this music. But yeah, it's one hell of an ending for all the characters, and what I love is, after a season of everybody being split up, them being on the planet, her being on Mars, Arvisala having all of her stuff on Avasarala, having her political thing, you can it's clear that next year it's all going to start pulling back together.
Yeah.
Like next year we're all going to be caught up in this because, well, another solar system war is about to start. Like, the OPA is about to start another war in the solar system. Such a wonderful, wonderful cliffhanger. But you're right. You deceived me a little bit because there is one hell of a cliffhanger. But yeah, every storyline did get wrapped up. It's just pointing to something amazing next year. And while I'm really not happy with the way David Strathairn character's story wrapped up, I can't deny that is a 100%.
It was good.
It was good, and it's a completely logical place for his story to have gotten. Because it's like he went out fighting for something he genuinely believed in. Right? And he had been a fanatic and a privateer in the past, but now he remains a warrior, he remains a hard man, but it's like he had completely come around on what he believed in, and he went out on his terms.
Yeah.
It's a great scene. Oh no! I hate these flamethrower rats. And I'm not good at killing them either. Can you hit them with something long range? Tried to stab him in the back, and it didn't work at all. Wow, dude is chasing me? Hopefully I can find my way back to you guys. Or I may have found a dead... Oh, no, not a dead end. Yay, we're doing it. But yeah, it's always an amazing show, but such a good second half. The complications piled on complications, the unexpected solves, just the beautiful character stuff. This is... it's the best show on TV right now. I love it the most, but to not disappoint at all as they went into the next season. And I'm going to ask you the question I always ask you. Is this because they're staying so close to the books? Is that why? Okay. That's how all these other shows butcher things, because they're like, oh no, we got to do our own things. But these guys frigging recognize that, yeah, we have the best source material. Let's just trust our source material.
Yeah. Well, it also helps that the authors are both on set all the time.
That really helps. Yeah. Just so they always have someone to ask. And just for me, that we paid off like that in the first episode where Bobby, right, we see her working at her job and we get this beautiful fly through of the Mars shipbreaking facility. And it's like one of the best one of the just the best sci-fi visuals I've seen in ages. And then for the payoff at the end of season to be that exact same facility crashing down.
Yep, there's
and getting completely destroyed by thank you, by all of the machinations behind the scene. Damn. I had no idea. Well, like you say, everything comes back, and it's just like we established beauty in the first episode, and now we're going to show that. Let's face it, all of this scheming, all of this underhanded, the desperation of people to keep conflict going, when they finally have a frigging chance for everything to calm down. No, it destroys this beautiful piece of technology. Everything is ruined.
Well, like, that's the thing. The attack on the shipbreaking facility is how the fourth book opens.
Oh, nice. Okay. So that was a tease of that's the start of the fourth book, and a tease for all of the stuff Bobby's going to get up to next season, which you've already promised me is fantastic.
Yeah.
Then again, I just love Bobby.
Yeah. I mean, that's it.
I love Amos
after
more?
having watched Picard and Discovery, I think, sometimes I think, is the Expanse really that good, or are we just being subjected to such trash?
Oh, man. No, it's really that good.
Yeah.
This is speaking as someone who's watched every, long-form sci-fi TV show, except for, Lex and Killjoys. Yes, it's that good. The Expanse is legitimately that good of a story. And
I actually had a conversation the other night with one of our associates about why she likes Discovery.
Oh.
She's like, oh, well, maybe it's because some people feel like they're more represented on Discovery than other Star Trek. I'm like, okay, so we'll ignore all of Star Trek's history of being
the most inclusive show and the fact that it was the first to everything.
Yeah. Or that. That doesn't excuse this being trash.
I know. It really doesn't.
Oh, well, Discovery's more inclusive. Yeah, it's garbage.
Doesn't make it good. It has inclusivity. That doesn't mean it's well-told, well-made storytelling.
Well, that's just it. Like, you have the non-neurotypical Tilly, who she really loves, and I'm like, yeah, Tilly's all right for the first season, and
gets really bad in the second season.
Yes, she becomes intolerable. Same thing with, they had
everything. The first season, you can go back and listen to our shows, was bad. But I thought they could rally.
Moments, but it was bad.
It was bad, but I suspected they could rally. Yeah. Whereas Picard was straight trash all the way through.
Yeah, that's the thing. With, there was moments in Discovery where we were like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is the mirror universe. I can see why there's violence and all this fun stuff.
Get where they're going with some of this, and it's you're playing with interesting ideas. And then season 2, they just doubled down on all of the worst parts of season 1.
Yeah.
And had none of the redeeming factors. Until you're just watching, trash.
Straight up garbage.
Yeah. Oh, God. But yeah, the payoff at the end of season 2 was, oh no, there isn't anything more meaningful going on. It's just yet another bootstrap paradox story. Thanks.
Yeah.
She went and she did all of that stuff with a time suit because she knew that stuff had all happened with a time suit. Thanks.
Yep. More rabbit shard over here.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Nice.
But yeah, and this, by comparison, never lets you down for a second.
Well,
I mean, even the little details, like that moment when Joe, he's like, I gotta find a machine, I gotta get into the Eye of Sauron.
Yep.
Which they call the Eye on Sauron. They acknowledges the Eye of Sauron without ever calling it the Eye of Sauron.
Yep.
You know, like an angry god's eye. We know what you're trying to say. It's clear that that's the Eye of Sauron. But anyway, you got to get me close to the Eye of Sauron, so you got to put me in a machine. Right? I got to find a machine to get put in. And just the wonderful detail that the machine he puts himself in is so bizarre that you cannot fathom what it's supposed to do. And the extra detail that just because he's in it doesn't mean he knows how to operate it. So he waddles and crawls around in the most awkward and pathetic fashion. Because just because he's inhabiting a machine doesn't mean he knows what it's for or how it works.
Or how to use it. It's not a body.
Yeah, it's not a body. He's, like he's just he's a disembodied intelligence, and he's not going to immediately know.
And he's patterned after a human.
Yeah, he's patterned after a human cop. You know? Why would he have the slightest idea how this works?
Yeah.
I'm just hoping Anderson is back next year and we see more Jared Harris. I know Jared Harris is incredibly busy, but I just hope they could find some way to get him to Toronto for a couple of weeks. Yeah. If the story allows for it, which I'm not guaranteeing.
But it's also something I brought up with her.
Yeah.
Going back to diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
No matter what you say about diversity and inclusion, no matter what you want to be your prize, your goal,
and
the Expanse does it better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No,
there's women,
all the diversity,
color.
All the diversity you could possibly want. I mean, in a show is in the Expanse, and you don't have to put up with god-awful storytelling to get it.
You don't have to put up with Alex Kurtzman.
Yeah, Alex Kurtzman is terrible at his job, isn't he? He's just awful. Yeah, there's no excuse for him being as bad at his job as he is. And as you say, Michael Chabon seems to actively hate Star Trek.
Yeah.
So,
like I went looking for the specific tweet, and it looks like he scrubbed it.
Okay.
Kind of like the whole thing with him and Anson Mount.
Yeah.
Like, we're just not going to talk about this.
We're just going to pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this weird situation where you've taken a guy who doesn't seem to like Star Trek very much, and you've taken a guy who's only capable of writing the dumbest action movies imaginable. You know, let's not forget, like, anything dumb in the 2000s is big, dumb, and loud. Alex Kurtzman had his name somewhere on it. Right, so you get that, you get a guy who doesn't seem to like Star Trek, and you're like, go make Star Trek. That's like giving Superman to Zack Snyder. It's just an insane idea.
Okay,
take this guy who actively does... Oh, we got another one of those battle lords, or whatever you call the guys with the axes and the full armor.
Chaos Warriors.
Chaos Warriors, thank you. Hey, I actually hit him in the head for once.
But,
no! Soul sucked. Please, continue.
We need someone to actually pick up that tome, because apparently the AI just refuses to do it.
Where's the tome? I do not see it on the map anywhere. Did you already get it?
I tagged it. I'm already carrying one.
Oh, okay. Where is it? Oh, there it is. You're over there by it. Thank you. I didn't see the blue tag. It was quite small on screen in my defense. Yes.
That for a second.
Yeah, of course.
Just gonna break that. And I've got the other one. Okay,
all right.
Let's go.
We got 2 of the 3 possible tomes. Nice. But yeah, I think that's it's an incredibly good show. That am I gonna say that I loved it more than I would have? Like, I can't possibly say that I'm a completely impartial viewer, and my terrible experience with Star Trek Picard 2 weeks before watching this would in any way, like, not, like, I can't claim I wouldn't have been affected. Ratcatcher. Wouldn't have been infected at all, because I think that it might be delusional to assume, because it's like, I was always going to love this season, because it's a really great season of television, and you can easily make that argument to anyone who would question it. Well, but did I love it even more because I had just watched Picard get everything about sci-fi wrong?
Everything,
Yeah,
not
I did.
just about Star Trek, about sci-fi as a whole.
Yeah, just as a whole. Oh my god. Yeah, everything about sci-fi. Like, they just don't understand sci-fi at all.
Here, come here.
Oh, wait.
Come here. Stay put.
Okay, I'm not moving. Oh, thank you. And then you get your book back. Nice.
But,
arrows. But yeah, it's like to screw up the whole concept of sci-fi like that. It's unbelievably frustrating.
Kind of baffling, to be honest.
Yeah. So yeah, as always, we give the highest possible recommendation for the new season of The Expanse. These guys just knock it out of the park every year. Like, it just gets better and better.
This is one of the weaker seasons, I'd argue. This
really?
is one of the
Just
weaker
based
seasons.
On the books? Yeah, because it's literally about this very micro situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about the big political stuff and the wonderful, huge war stuff that we've been getting for the rest of the show. So,
exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing. Oh, Alex, you really screwed things up.
Like, let's face it, if the director of Fast and the Furious did a better job than you at Star Trek, understood characters more and better.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you gotta start reassessing some stuff real fast.
Yeah, it's a real bad look. All right, so now we're gonna ask the big question, which is something you wanted to do, and I'm very excited to hear it. What would be the Star Trek show you want to see?
Okay. So, I've been thinking about this for a while. Here is my pitch.
All right.
31.
Yes.
But good.
Okay. So not Section 31, also,
Alex
but
Kurtzman.
Everyone knows they exist, and also they have starships that have Section 31 written in paint on the side.
Yeah. So instead of it being, set in the past, it'd be set probably 5 years after the end of DS9, and the galaxy's still recovering.
Right.
The Cardassian Union's basically like post-war Germany. It could go a lot of ways. You still got a whack of Dominion that are in camps or looking to be repatriated. You've got, the Romulan Star Empire is essentially in the best shape out of everyone just because it entered the war so late.
Yeah, no, they did not have the huge losses the way the Dominion and the humans and the Federation did. Yeah, they got in very late. They were like the Americans in World War I. They swooped in at the last minute to finish it off and then take all the credit.
Yeah. They entered more than a full year into the war.
Yeah.
Actually, it's closer to 2.
Yeah, no, like the war had been going on for a while before they tricked the Romulans into joining.
Yeah.
And
so the Klingon Empire
over 6 months later.
Yeah, the Klingon Empire is in the middle of yet another civil war.
Yeah.
Because, there's all these houses that are out of male heirs. They're just flat out. They
Clearly.
all die.
And it's not like Gowron is the, we all saw what happened with Gowron.
Yeah.
Martok is not the most beloved or trusted leader there is.
And he's not a political animal.
No. So he would not know how to manage the relationships that a Supreme Chancellor needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a general. He's great at that, but also, let's not forget, for a friggin' year, there was a fake General Martok. Right? Ruining his good name.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's a lot of stuff going on with Martok that keeps him from being the kind of guy who can unify all the Klingons. Okay, I see where you're at.
Where'd you get to here? Here for a second, I'll heal you.
Okay, thank you.
Just, you need to
Then you
stay
get the
put.
tome, I know. Not moving. Okay, so I understand the state of play.
Okay, so we have a crew of 4 who are, basically Section 31's, newest team.
Right.
So you've got a Vulcan, who's a botanist. who logically now, after having seen the state of the universe and what the, what war
what they've been brought
like.
to by the war, what full-on war with the Dominion turned the Federation into, turned the whole galaxy into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he understands logically we have to prevent a war at all costs.
Yeah.
And so he's sort of the team leader. And we've got a human who's a veteran of AR 855, and he's short like an arm and 2 legs.
Oh.
And he's
cybernetic limbs.
Yeah, he's like their lead man. He goes in and he scouts things out.
Yeah.
And if anyone asks, he can be like, plays the card. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing after.
Yeah,
and
I'm a grievously injured veteran who's traveling after the war.
Yeah.
That's just a completely normal thing to do.
Yeah. Like there's, I would be helping my country, or sorry, the Federation, but they have no use.
Yeah.
And I haven't found a place I want to settle down and make my own yet, because as we discussed with Rafi, you can do that. You don't need to be thinking and vaping in a trailer if you don't want to.
I know. God, the trailer. Sorry. The desert trailer was such a ridiculous conceit. But anyway, please continue. This is solid. Okay. So and that gives them a perfectly good cover to travel pretty much wherever.
Yeah.
Like shell-shocked veteran after the war. Yeah, absolutely.
You've got a Tellarite botanist who's like, all right, whatever, studying botany. What? Is my 4-foot ass going to be an assassin or a spy? Dude, I look like a leather carpet. Everyone would remember seeing.
Yeah,
and he's actually their
suspect the Tellarite.
And he's their comms guy.
Ah, okay.
We've got a Ferengi who's basically a mercenary. He's like, all right, fuck you, pay me. I'll do dirty work. And he's a sniper. And no one's going to, again, you go back to, oh man, someone assassinated this.
Someone assassinated this political figure. Yeah. The thing. Let's be on the lookout for a Ferengi.
Right? But yeah. Who do you think is going to be likely candidate? Is it going to be... Is the sniper going to have been A, the Klingon, B, the Romulan, C, an angry Jem'Hadar, or D, the Ferengi?
Yeah, exactly. It's weird because Botanist is one of the best possible covers for traveling from place to place, simply because every planet has unique fauna. You have a perfect cover a reason to go anywhere.
Yep. And so they don't always have to kill people, and in fact the Vulcan says basically, I want to kill as few people as possible.
Yeah.
Because that is the greater good here. Killing as few people as possible to maintain the peace. But sometimes...
The whole point here is we're trying to create peace. Yeah. You can't do that, by, for example, murdering all the changelings.
Yeah. It's going to have a lot of angry Jem'Hadar.
Yeah, you're just going to have a ton of pissed off Jem'Hadar. And the war is going to go, oh, you killed our gods and our creators. Yeah, they're going to be pissed about that, then they're not going to be psyched to stop fighting you. You have to find a way to move behind the scenes to get this done. And that is the thing I find the most compelling about this, the idea that the Federation would understand that, we also need a way behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Our diplomacy is great. Our war fighting, we're good at that too, but we really need...
Not.
Oh, yeah, not after getting wiped out.
Well, I think that would be a good way to set the stage, with Luther Sloan coming down and being like, listen, we couldn't... If we needed to fight someone, we could not.
Yeah. Exactly. So we need to find... if you're right. Imagine and a whole season or plus about trying to stop a war with the Romulans from happening.
Or put in perspective like this. What about,
Yeah.
like, okay, beyond conventional, like, the empires and, like, smaller bit players, we have terrorists. We have Jem'Hadar, who are masterless, don't want to give up fighting, because that's all they know.
Right, that makes sense.
Right?
Absolutely. So yeah, like there's all these threats out there. There are, and we know there are syndicates of space criminals.
Yeah. Like, okay, what are we going to do about Orion slavery?
Yep. And so there's like all of these threats out there that they can't deal head on as the Federation because they're, pledged not to interfere too much in other planets, but B, and this is the key part, they might start a war that they're not sure they could win.
Yeah. And beyond that, here, I'm going to throw you a couple of ideas for,
where plots could go.
Where plots could go, essentially.
Yeah.
So, in the wake of the war, the Maquis are reborn.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I mean,
Laren and a couple others survive.
Well, and it's completely logical that they would, because, the Cardassian Empire has been completely shattered.
Yeah.
They've got no military strength left, and you know what? They tried to exterminate the Federation, so nobody's going to be taking their side in the Maquis wanting to set up, having all of the ownership of all of these planets.
Yep.
Okay, I see that.
And so now, our Section 31 unit has to sit there and be like, okay, Luther Sloan told us we've got to arm these guys, but we don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Is this really how we're going to be as the Federation?
Yeah.
Arming potential terrorists. Hey.
Yeah.
And another one is, okay, they have to maintain their cover while they assassinate a guy, and they, we could use one of the methods the Israelis used, where they put like a tiny bit of explosive into a dude's like handheld communicator and blow the microphone through his face.
Ugh.
Yeah, the Israelis actually did that in 2008.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, they put in a cell phone and they just popped the microphone right through the guy's head.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
Terrifying.
And, this isn't about dropping the biggest bomb.
No. It's about surgically getting to a place where you can do the exact amount of damage that needs to be done.
Exactly. And you have to deal with the moral ramifications. You've got a war veteran who's not the most stable. You've got a mercenary who could turn on you at any moment. You've got this Vulcan.
Yeah, who is completely, who just sees everything as numbers playing out.
Yeah. Strictly numbers.
Yeah. And so, completely losing the human or moral component to it. I totally get what you're saying there.
The one that this Federation is founded on.
Exactly. Damn.
Right? And you play against people's preconceived notions, and you show, if you really wanted to make real-world parallels, you show them going into, like, these bombed-out cities on Cardassia being like, okay, this is 5 years after the war. Why is there still rubble in the streets?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's like the government has completely ceased to function.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, and the Federation sure as hell isn't coming and cleaning up. But honestly, maybe the government is refusing. I mean, the way the Cardassians work, the government might be refusing help because they wouldn't want to be taken over and, just pulled in and completely subsumed by the Federation, which is what happens when you accept help from the Federation.
Yeah, and I mean, this gives you the opportunity to bring back people as antagonists. You could bring back Bashir as an antagonist, trying to stop them.
Yeah.
You could bring back Garrick, Galron. You could bring back Picard, for Christ's sake. You could bring back any member of TNG, and like, it doesn't have to be external threats. It could be internal threats, like, okay, well, there's this huge pro-war.
Last I checked, Thomas Riker's still in jail for helping out the Maquis.
Let's bust him out.
Yeah.
There we go. And we've got, we could have Riker or Diana just their internal threats, similar to what I pitched for Into Darkness, just being, hey, we got to reshape the Federation into this more warlike thing where before we were all about science and discovery and these utopian ideals. And the unit either having to kill people or discredit them in order to set back, this sort of sentiment.
Yeah, because you can't have it become a galactic space empire. That is the opposite of where the direction we need to be going in, and the tragedy that we have to kill some people to make that happen is kind of horrific.
Exactly. So
that's a really strong premise.
Right? And we've got 4 or 5 episodes right there. We get the tie-ins for the nostalgia.
Yes. No, and you get the tie-ins from nostalgia, but more than that, you've got just this wonderful premise that can last any number of seasons, because there's so many races, so many conflicts, so much politically going on in the world after that happens. So yeah, like, it's completely logical that this is the way it would go.
Mm-hmm. And, it brings Section 31 back to its roots.
Yeah.
It brings...
There was very little stupider than the idea of there being Section 31 spaceships. I know I went to Starfleet with someone who wound up in Section 31. You don't even know Section 31 exists!
Yeah. Like, in DS9, no one remembers Section 39, Section 31. Like, Cisco heard about it once. But
as a rumor, and sure as hell, nobody like knows has a friend in Section 31, because nobody in Section 31 is telling anybody they're in it.
Yeah, it's like being like, yeah, I'm in the CIA Black Ops program.
I'm deep covering the CIA.
Oh yeah,
the way that comes up in conversation all the time. He does Black Ops for the CIA, and he's, here's the bank that he fake has a job with to cover his traveling around the world.
Exactly. Oh,
I
know
this.
That bank
also works extensively with the CIA. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's so insane. But that is what we're expected to believe by Discovery of what Section 31 is like, which is just insane.
And you'll notice Section 31 in Picard is not even mentioned.
Not once. At least they got smart about that.
Thank God.
Thank heavens. Ugh. All right, so yeah, that would be really promising, especially because, you can also get into these characters' personal lives, why they ended up here, the stresses of being involved in a secret organization like this. Like, there's so many interesting dramatic opportunities just for the character stuff, in addition to all of the amazing...
The stress of leading a double life. How about that?
Exactly. They have to pretend to have these regular lives. It's kind of fantastic. Because, again, It's not like they're always just they don't have their own ship, and they sure as hell aren't always traveling together to places, because that would look suspicious and be caught on to right away.
Yep.
So they can even go and have individual adventures during their travels on the way to and between other story arcs.
Yeah, the way I originally thought of it was, the unit, but not dumb.
Yes. Oh, the unit.
Like,
you were so
hear
dumb.
me out. The unit was a good 50% of a good show.
Yeah.
Specifically because, it had these interesting moral quandaries.
Yeah.
Like, there's one where, there's one character who's like, okay, we're deep in Iran. We're Americans. If we're caught, if we're lucky, we die.
Yeah.
If we're very lucky, we die.
Yeah.
And, he's like, well, this shepherd boy who's like 10 stumbled on us.
Oof.
So, what do we do?
What exactly are we supposed to do about this?
And he ices the kid, and he, like, for the next 3 episodes, he's just
Oof.
mentally destroyed by that. And he's a guy who's, like, a father and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. And it's like, all right, now we'll shift to the wife's half of the show, and someone got their car towed. I was like, you can't switch.
You can't do that. Those
Like,
are so vastly different stakes that you can't go and do the wife's half of the story after an episode like that. But you're right, it was like that every week.
Yeah. And so you'd, like, the wife stuff, it's like, oh, do I want to cheat on my husband again? My husband has to deal with the fact that there's a bunch of bioterrorists who have infected themselves and are trying to fly out of Pakistan where we're not supposed to be. Come on, guys. Come on.
I know. I agree with you. Ugh. All right. So, yeah, that's a very promising pitch. I like that idea a lot.
Mm.
And it's such a good way to take... it's such a good way to take Section 31. And it's the way you do an interesting modern spy story without destroying everything that Star Trek is.
I've maintained more of what Star Trek actually is and has always been.
It is a utopian society, but it's not always easy to keep that going. They're like, that's again part of the theme of this show. Like, it's not easy to make this stuff work. It's not easy for this world to be
Utopia
as pretty and clean as it is. It is. It
right?
absolutely does. Get into that.
Yeah, that is exactly going to be
the pitch is Utopia has a price.
Utopia has a price. There, we have our tagline.
Yeah.
CBS,
reach out. We would love to talk to you about this. It's going to be better than what you're currently doing.
We'll do it for a third of what Kurtzman and Shaban cost, or
give you twice
a quarter
as good a show.
if I get to punch both of them in the face once.
Jesus. I was trying to cut you off before you said something crazy, and I failed. But yes, CBS, reach out. This is going to be amazing. For now, before we go, would you like to recommend something to people?
I have been getting back into Masterclass, and no, we are not being sponsored by them, but
nope.
Hey,
which
if you're listening,
Masterclass do you want people to check out?
I have been getting into Aaron Franklin's barbecue basics.
Okay.
I got a grill since I've returned from the Arctic, and I am grilling every single day. And
so what kind of stuff are you learning from this barbecue course?
Smoke, temperature, planning, rubs.
Really? So it's all there?
Yes.
And how quickly are you improving?
Pretty quickly. I've mastered beef ribs after a suggestion of his, which is namely you slow cook it, and if you don't have like an 800-pound 6 oil drum long smoker, throw it into your Instapot, throw it into your slow cooker for 4 to 6 hours, finish for about a half hour on medium on the grill, and then add the barbecue sauce. And it turns out beyond well.
Okay. That sounds exciting. And is this the only thing you're checking out on Masterclass?
No, I'm watching Neil Gaiman's lectures, actually, on writing.
Yeah, his writing theory lectures. I've heard good things about those.
And David Mamet. David Mamet is
of course,
all
David
about
Mamet.
structure.
Oh, God, yeah. You can tell that just by watching his movies.
Yep. And by watching The Unit, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, that's a whole other conversation. But that's great. All right, so check out Masterclass. Apparently they have a lot of amazing content. And before we go, do you want to hit people with a quiz?
All right. Now, this is going to be a deep cut, so I'm going to say we should offer at least 3 games for this one.
Okay. I'll say 2, but yes, 2 games for this one. Deep cut away.
In the 4th book, what items do members of Anarias' crew, Marcos Anarias' crew, use as totems of their victory?
Damn, that is a deep cut, because I got no idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll see next season, but...
But yeah, okay, so yeah, this one might be easy to win in a year, but for now, it's got something of a challenge. So check that out, but for now, I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for coming on this journey with us. If you had a good time and you'd like to see more, there's buttons coming up for that. We're going to be back here with another show, probably Westworld. We haven't talked 100% about that yet. But we're going to be back here soon with another episode, and of course, join us here back next year for a conversation about The Expanse, Season 5. We'll see you back here for more in the next item on the playlist, but until then, I'm going to say that's right. Au revoir.